Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, the great millstone that I learned this truth from. I want to say peace, mercy, and blessings unto all of the hopeful elect. All right. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists or He is to be. The name of the Son is Yahushai, which means He is the deliverer. We are the Hebrew Israelites. Today we're being called Black, Native American, Seminole Indian, Colored, Haitian Jamaican, West Indian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, etc. Okay, but we're those people that make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel. All right, there's 12 different tribes, but we're the same people, come from the same stock, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, right? Now the self-proclaimed white man, Caucasian, European, all right, so-called white man, self-proclaimed, they have a biblical nationality, which is Esau, Edom. According to the Bible, Idumea, Mount Seir, right? And in Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world. So it's prophesied that this man's, in this man's, in his kingdom, in his rulership, the end of the world will come during his time. And that's where we're at. All right, this 2 Ezra 15 and 14, it says, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein. And that means destruction. And that's what's coming. To prophesy means to say before it happens. So the Most High is sending his prophets to the highways and hedges and, allowing his men to do these videos throughout the week. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And according to Bible prophecy, America is Babylon the Great. You have to understand something. The scriptures are written in code. A lot of the times, Yahushua spoke in parables. So it's mysteries, right? This is Matthew 13 and verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Even when Yahushua was on the scene, he was talking to the people. He spoke to them in parables. All right? Verse 11. And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you, all right, the chosen, the disciples who later became apostles, okay, to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So only the apostles, prophets, the true ones that are actually called by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they're the only ones that actually know and understand the mysteries that are in these scriptures. And that's why you have to learn from men, which we did, but you also have to study to show yourself approved, right? Which is where studying comes in, not being a parrot or a mockingbird, right? Now, if you pay attention to what's going on in the world, I'm going to read a few articles, and then I'm going to go into one specifically. This is from InfoWars. It says, World War Economic Collapse Alert. Persia, right? Because in the Bible, it won't say Iran. It's going to say Persia. And this is where you doing your research, doing your due diligence. This is where, that pays off. In 1935, Reza Shah issued a decree asking foreign delegates to use the term Iran in formal correspondence, in accordance with the fact that Persia was a term used by Western people for the country called Iran in Persian. Okay, so Iran and Persia, that's talking about the same country. Okay, the name Persia was changed to the name Iran by Reza Shah, issued that decree in 1935. So when you read about Iran in the news, those are the Persians, and they play a huge part in Bible prophecy, right? Persia threatens to attack the U.S. When you read about the U.S., okay, when you read the scriptures, the Bible speaks about Babylon the Great. And Revelation says the whore that sits on the scarlet colored beast. So when you hear us speaking, we might say the West, the world refers to this place as the West. Actually, different parts of the Middle East, such as Persia, they refer to it as Great Satan, and they refer to the Holy Land, all right, the Ish people, and they refer to that part of the world as Little Satan and their allies. Okay, so we may say that too, because it's true. USA under Satan's authority. Brothers even came up with that. This place is totally demonic, right? World Economic Collapse Alert. Notice it says world. That's key too, right? For Revelation 13 and also Revelation 3, right? Iran threatens to attack U.S. bases, block the Strait of Hormuz, and plunge the world into total chaos as Israeli cities are devastated by ballistic missile attacks. So that's wars and rumors of wars, right? Let's get that. This is from the book of Matthew 24. And verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right, so we're hearing of wars. We're hearing about, actually, let's go to it. It's a lot going on, man. Giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We're here. All right, it's what? June 15th, June 16th. Let me just check. June 17th. June 17th, 2025, halfway through the month of June, halfway through the year. They seem like the year just started. Time is flying. All praise is honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the Most High is bringing these prophecies to pass. Lord willing, we're the hopeful members of the elect. Lord willing, we endure to the end. Lord willing, we stand bold and do not give in and take that C-hip, right, the mark of the beast. But this is from InfoWars as well. Watch Persian state media HQ bomb by Israel mid-broadcast. Check this shit out.
فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم
Right.
فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم.
An Israeli airstrike struck the headquarters office of Persian state media while they were live on air complaining about Israeli airstrikes in Iran. All right, and you got this bitch laughing. This might be the funniest video I've ever seen. All right, Laura Boomer, she must be a Ish or maybe a supporter of the Ish. 12 hours ago, she's alive. The damage destroyed part of her studio, and nobody died. But the point is, man, is that's wars and rumors of wars. Those people are over there. They're under attack. Right back to InfoWars. In the video below, Persian news broadcaster Sahar Imani was speaking about the ongoing war with the least of the flock. Where you see those people, the Ish people, Benjamin Netanyahu, and then the scriptures will call them the least of the flock, Amalek, right? You might hear us refer to them as the small hats, the money lenders. We were speaking in parables, When the building was struck by a massive missile. Following the attack, reporters filmed from outside the burning Iranian headquarters building.
سردبیر گروه دفاعی خبرگزاری صدا و سیما در این چند سال در تمام عملیات‌های وعده صادق جلوه اقتدار ایران و شکست هیمنه رژیم صهیونیستی رو به تصویر کشیدیم. اینجا سازمان صدا و سیماست، مرکز فرماندهی جنگ رسانه ایران و مرکز به قدرت کشیدن تصویر اقتدار ایرانی و ایرانی جماعت و شکست هیمنه رژیم کودک کش صهیونیستی. من نمیدونم چند تا از همکارام داخل بودن. من طبقه اول بودم بمباران شد. نمیدونم چند تا از همکارام شهید شدن. نمیدونم چند نفر مجروح شدن. گفته بودن تخلیه کنیم منطقه اسرائیل، اما همه تا آخرین لحظه وایسن تا تصویر اقتدار ایران رو به جهان نشون بدن، چیزی که رژیم صهیونیستی نمیخواد. این ثمره نخواستنش. فکر کرده سازمان صدا و سیما رو بزنه چی میشه؟
All right, back in this article from InfoWars. Imani reportedly continued broadcasting after the station's crew was able to get their transmission back on air. Israeli, the IDF, all right, Katz posted about the strike, writing, "The Persian regime's propaganda and incitement broadcasting authority was attacked by the IDF after a widespread evacuation of the surrounding residents." So it's war, okay? The people are under attack over there, okay? And such things are going to come to the soil of Babylon the Great, and they know it, all right? Look into some 201. I'm not going to go over in this lesson, but they're expecting a huge BioT attack this year on the 4th of July, right? Matthew 24:6. "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So the scriptures are becoming undeniable. All right, everything we're seeing in the world, we can now filter these world news, world events, we can filter it through the scriptures. Verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation." We're seeing that with Persia and Amalek, at least of the flock, and kingdom against kingdom, all right? And China is getting involved, all right? Other nations are rebuking them for attacking those people. This is from naturalnews.com, all right? China or Moab and Russia, Gog and Magog, condemn the least of the flock's restless attacks on Persia, warn of serious consequences for warmongering aggression. So we're right at the brink of World War III. Okay, it's going to drag the whole world into this. Now, there's something known as the Pike Mazzini plan. Okay. This is this says conspiracy theory, which is now a lot of these so-called conspiracy theories are now being proved as conspiracy facts. All right, all the conspiracy is when two or more persons conspire to do something. So here you have Albert Pike, all right, a very high-ranking Freemason, Satan worshiper, and Giuseppe Mazzini, all right, in 1871 regarding a conspiracy involving 3 world wars that were planned in an attempt to take over the world. Pike's letter was on display in the British Museum Library until 1977. British Library denies the letter exists. And this brought me to a Twitter link of someone posting the information. But I remember a couple years back, you can actually find this information. But now they're making it to where a lot of things you Google or you try to look up, you can't find it. Because that's the devil. All right. And actually, I found this information also. You can buy this book. What's the name of it? Okay, the title of this book is called Fossilized Customs, and the name of the author is Lou White. And something very interesting about this book, boom, they got the name right on the cover in the Paleo Hebrew, all right? Yahweh Shai, they got the names right on the cover, So it's a bad book. I brought it, but, through wear and tear, it's just time to get a new one. See how about Shem El Shai, I'm going to have to order a new one so I can have one for the camp this week. You know, because because we're in those times. You know, the third woe is actually biblical. You know, but back to this, pretty much says the same thing that was in that book. You know, says the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Z's and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way, right? The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Z, the state of blank, mutually destroy one another. They're trying to do that right now. They're trying to mutually destroy one another, right? Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. Is that not what's happening in the world? Let's see, right? This is also from Infowars.com. Pakistani official calls for Islamic countries to unite against blank. Assis also said that blank did not act alone, stating his belief that the Amalek state had intelligence covering support. He used that assumption as a justification for a joint Muslim state response, raising his concern that Islamic nations are militarily vulnerable. So here you have all these different world leaders, just like in that Albert Pike plan, right? You can just Google them, all right? Albert Pike, letter to Mazzini, and it lists out not just one world war, but 3. And when you read these wars and you do your history, this is exactly how these wars end up coming to pass, right? So I'll read it again. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Z's and the leaders of the Islamic world. What's happening is going to cause the leaders of the Islamic world to unite against a common enemy, the least of the flock. And one thing about Pakistan, they possess nuclear missiles. All right? On Saturday, Pakistani Defense Minister Khawaja Asif called for Muslim nations to collectively join the fight against Amalek after the IDF launched a preemptive strike against Persian nuclear facilities on Friday. Yeah, they call it Operation Rising Lion, where they just rose up and started attacking these people. Okay, and you have tweets from, war tweets from Persia saying, remember, y'all started this. All right? This is from an hour ago. Daily Persian military. 3 tankers are burning in the Strait of Hormuz. Everyone will feel it. 3 days ago. Okay. We will urge all non-Palestinians to leave the occupied Palestinian territories immediately. Okay. Let me see. I gotta go to this one. Slovakia.
What do they mean by Donald Trump?
Hey, no.
be feeling like?
Saying everyone will feel it.
With the way that
All right, we haven't even turned up the volume yet.
I'm not gonna lie, this tweet.
Okay, here you go. This is one I wanted from June 12th. It says, remember, we didn't initiate it. And they also have another tweet saying, time to shoot some rats. So that's wars and rumors of wars, man. Okay, so they're getting this popping for this third woe. All right, this is from the book of Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And there's a quote, I believe it was Albert Einstein. Yep, that's it. Albert Einstein. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. But the scriptures tells you. All right? This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Right? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. But this major battle, all right, this World War III, this is going to be with burning and fuel of fire. Pakistan possesses nukes. Russia, China, those nations possess nukes. And they're condemning Persia. So this conflict is drawing the world in it. This is why it's called a world war. Okay? Back to this article from Infowars.com. It says, just as Amalek is currently targeting Yemen, Persia, and Palestine, if the Muslim world does not unite today and continues to prioritize its own interests and agendas, then everyone's turn will come, Asif told Pakistani lawmakers in the country's National Assembly. The Pakistani official said that the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, a 57-country intergovernmental organization, should meet to develop a strategy to confront Amalek, as well as cut the diplomatic ties with them. Wherever there are diplomatic ties with Amalek in the Muslim world, they should be severed, he said. Asif made it clear that Pakistan stands with Persia in a speech which heralded the religious war. We stand behind Persia and will support them in every international forum to protect their interests, the Pakistan official said. Asif also said that Persia did not act alone, stating his belief that the Ish state had intelligence, cover, and support. He used that assumption as justification for a joint Muslim state response, raising his concern that Islamic nations are militarily vulnerable. All right, let's go back to 2nd Esdras 15. The 2nd Esdras 15. I'll jump down to 28. Behold, in horrible vision. That's World War III. That's the economic collapse that's coming here to Babylon the Great and all throughout the world. But it's going to hit this place very, very hard. There's going to be famine to the point of people going to get so desperate they're going to commit acts of cannibalism. Okay? Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. And that's all those different leaders of the Islamic world finally uniting, putting their differences aside. Dragons of Arabia. They're going to support Persia. Okay? Also the Carmanians raging in wrath, and another word for, let's see. Carmania, Old Persian, name of a region in ancient Iran. Would you look at that? Between the heartland of Persian and Cappadocia. So when it says Carmanians, that's also dealing with those Persians. Okay? So this showing you that other nations are going to stand behind them. All right? The world is going to get involved. It says, verse 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have an upper hand, remember their nature, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together, and great power to persecute them. Okay? So, hey, it's really the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but he put it on the spirit of these devils on the left-hand side to, do their part to bring about these third world wars. This is also from InfoWars. World War Economic Collapse Alert, which we're waiting for that. And it is going to come, all right, because our temptation must come upon all the world. Okay, so that means all the economies of the world are going to collapse. And I speak as a man, but this could very well be the catalyst that throws the whole world into economic turmoil, which is exactly what the elites want, right? Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, all right, and this is to the believers, all right, the members, of the hopeful elect, all right. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Now, what is the hour of temptation? That's the time that's going to come upon the earth. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? So when you look at, that's why it's important to look up different words and root words and definitions. If you look up this word, try, the word there is perazzo.
Strong's G 3985, pyrazzo. Pyrazzo.
Root word etymology there is
Strong's G 3984, pyra. Pyra.
It says, if you look up, it says through the idea of piercing. Okay, so this is a physical thing. It's a physical mark that's going to come upon all the world. Okay, so let's read this again. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from our temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the elites are coming with an idea that they can pierce everybody to take this haragma, mark of the beast. Okay, that's Revelation 13. Right? It's Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads. Now the word there in the Greek is haragma, which is a physical thing. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he that had the haragma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you won't be able to do any sort of business without this thing. So if you look at how we conduct life now, we work, we get our paychecks, we pay our bills. Now here in 2025, we're seeing cash fade away. Most unlikely you tap pay on your phone, or you get paid direct deposit and you pay your bill as soon as you get paid. You barely deal with cash. You barely get checks, so you don't cash. So you're not really having any cash on hand unless you go to the ATM to take cash out. Okay, so cash is being phased out. So dollars being done away with. The dollars collapsing, right? So they're going to have to institute a new way of buying and selling. That's going to be through the idea of piercing. But when they pierce you, they're going to put something inside of you, and that's the haragma, the rights device. 18. Here's wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And when you look up this word here,
Strong's G 5516, chai, xai, stigma. Chai, Xi, stigma.
Root word etymology would be
Strong's G 4742, stigma. Stigma.
which says to stick or to prick. A mark pricked and branded upon a body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded the prick cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. One of my favorite shows, Spartacus, shows you how they would do this in the ancient world, right? But this is an Oriental custom, which means from the Middle East, because it's even in the law, the oil. All right, so this is going to be an electronic oil, right? And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods, right? So back in this article, World War Economic Collapse Alert. Persia threatens to attack U.S. bases, block the Strait of Hormuz, and plunge the world into total chaos as Amalek cities are devastated by ballistic missile attacks. So we're here. So I'm going to read this last scripture, then I got to close it. It's Revelation 11:14. The second war was past, and behold, the third war comes quickly. So with that, stay strong, stay prayed up, stay calling upon the names of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Run into that strong tower. Time is already moving very fast. We don't have much time left. Keep enduring. All right. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Shai. I pray this has been edifying. Shalom.